This is Karen from Online Healing Community. Welcome to Creating Space. And today, we're going to talk about boosting your immunity through Ayurveda. And with us is Dr. Gibsy Sanjeevi George. Let me just introduce him to you before I call him, okay? Dr. Gibsy is a graduate of Bachelor of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery from Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences in Karnataka, India, and currently he is the resident Ayurvedic doctor, consultant, and trainer at Shanti Ayurveda here in Quezon City. So, friends, please help me welcome Dr. Gypsy. Hi, Dr. Gypsy. Welcome to Creating Space.
Hi, good evening, all.
Thank you for being here. Doc Gypsy, let's start the conversation by defining your holistic healing practice. Can you please tell us what is Ayurveda?
Okay. First of all, I just want to thanks to the Karen and IE for conducting this online talk about creating space and sharing stories and reflection about the community. So, and also thank you for all the viewers watching to this show. Anyway, just I want to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Gypsy. I'm from Shanti Ayurveda, Philippines. So, can you repeat your question again, please?
Okay, let's start by defining your holistic healing practice, Doc Gypsy. Can you
Well,
please share with us what Ayurveda is?
yeah. I hope some of the people here would like to know about more about Ayurveda. Ayurveda is the most ancient medical system ever happened in this world. Um, as a complete medical system, the very first medical system ever happened. So it emerged from the subcontinent India. The meaning of the Ayurvedic term, the term Ayurveda itself is the meaning of Ayurveda means Ayu means life, and Veda means the knowledge. So the meaning of Ayurveda is the knowledge of life or science of life. So it is considered as the mother of all healing modalities. And of course, when you look back the background of the Ayurvedic medical system, mostly is based on two. The aim is two aims are there mainly. One is preventive and the curative aspects are there. So the preventive aspect is mostly depends on of course, our lifestyle. I mean, our mostly focusing on our daily regimen because if you are healthy, what are the preventive modalities, preventive measures you have to take to stay healthy?
Yes.
So it is focusing on the daily regimen, the seasonal regimen, the food, the sleep, lifestyle. Uh, Everything depends on the explained very well in the preventive side. But when you talk about the curative side, of course, it's mostly on the treatment side. Ayurveda have its own way of treatment, pathological explanations to treat if you are sick. If you are sick, what are the what are the measures you have to take to heal you? That is focusing on the clinical part of the Ayurveda.
Right. Um, MD Nazul Islam is joining us from Bangladesh, and he says that they also have this medicine, Ayurvedic medicine in Bangladesh. And it's interesting, Doc Gypsy, you talk about the preventive side of Ayurveda. And you said there's such a thing as Yuktikrita Bala, which means acquired strength from healthy practices in Ayurveda. Can you please tell us more about this?
The Yuktikrita Bela, because the Bela in Ayurveda, because the most important part is that the meaning, because I sorry I cannot excuse that the terminologies because that is so important to know about the meaning. Bela means the strength, strength of the person. Strength means the physical and mental strength of a person, and that is so important for the how our immunity is going to be enhanced. So it is so the strength of the person is different in different people according to their body constitution, the hereditary things, the season, the landscape, and the geographical condition, the lifestyle. It depends. So this terminology of Yuktikrita Bella because it comes under the explanation of immunity in Ayurveda. So your question is clear because the Yuktiruda Bella means it is the acquired immunity because the immunity acquired by the person by doing the healthy practices like the diet, the lifestyle, the other activities, which is focusing on the how to enhance the immune system by the healthy practices. So that is the one type of immunity which is explained under the Ayurvedic medical system.
Mhm. Another interesting concept, Doc Gibsy, is the five element theory. Can you please
Yeah,
expound on this?
yeah. The five because I told you already, Ayurveda is a complete medical system. So if it's a medical system or medical science, there's a science or concept behind that. So and that's so important to know about the basic concepts of Ayurveda if you want to become a, if you come to Ayurveda or if you want to practice Ayurveda, because everything starts from there. So the five element theory is we can see all everything in this nature is made up of five elements, because that's the five elements are the earth, fire, water, either space. The five elements we know that actually because I think Chinese medicine also have some kind of base like that. Chinese medicine have the base of this thing because China got the knowledge of herbal medicine from Ayurveda. During the time of Buddhist periods, they carry the knowledge. So I don't want to go in that side. Simply the five element theory means the everything in this world made up of five elements, including our human body. Our body also made up of five elements, and that's five elements is the basic elements we find or we from the five elements Ayurveda developed the basic concept of Tridosha, which is the three humors, which is the most important part, which as a concept of a clinical and preventive aspect. This Tridosha, the Vada means the air, the fire means the Pitta means the fire, and the Kapha part is the water part. And these three happen because of the from according to the combination, because from the five elements, for example, the earth and the water combined together form the kapha part, and the fire factor, the fire element form the pitta part, and the vada, which is the air concept, which is formed from the combination of the space and the air element. So the basic concept of Ayurveda, the basic science of Ayurveda developed from the five element theory, which is completely from the nature.
Yes. And Doc Gypsy, how do the doshas and the five elements affect our bodies?
As I mentioned, our body is made up of these five elements, and from these five elements, we have three doshas: the Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And these three doshas, because when you look at a living being or a human body, the two things are so important: a normal function, normal structure. Because when it comes to the Western medicine, the physiology and anatomy. Okay, the physiology is the one who developing about the explain about the function. The anatomy is the one who explain about the normal structure. So when it comes to Ayurveda, the normal function means the normal physical and mental function. So for a human being, for a person, the normal mental and the physical function of a person is completely controlled or done properly or normally happen according to the proper functioning of these three doshas. Means simply these three doshas is present in our body: the concept of air, the concept of fire, the concept of water, uh, which is present in our body, and they are the one who are responsible for the normal functions in the body. So it is so, for example, the air means we have air in our body, the air we breathe, the air we pass out, all the movement in the body. Simply, I just want to explain in the briefly, like the all the movements means the neurological function, the exchange of gases, blinking of eyes, our bowel movement, urination, labor, pregnancy, all the movement, physical movements, and also the When it comes to the psychiatric condition, like the mind, the proper function of mind means that the focus, everything is controlled by the air factor. And the fire is the one, yeah, that is vata. The fire is the one who is the name is pitta, which is responsible for the our metabolism, our digestion, our enzymes, hormones, liver function, our hormonal function, complexion, uh, our body temperature. All these things are, there are so many. I'm just giving some example. So these entities are controlled by this fire factor, and then last is the third is the kapha part, which is responsible for the kapha includes the water and the earth. Okay, so kapha is the one responsible for the proper nourishment, rejuvenation, our immune system, our sexual potency, our refreshment, restoration, uh, all these kinds of nourishing part comes under the kapha part. So these three, I told you, these three humors are the one who really found doing the function normally. That means if you want to be all the functions are because our body is made up of different systems, because we have a circulatory system, we have skeletal system, we have nervous system, digestive system, and all the system have different organs which is supposed to be function normally. When it comes to the Ayurvedic medical system, all these functions are controlled by these three doshas, and it is so important these three doshas should be present in our body in balance. So any that is considered as the health. Simply, when it comes to Ayurveda, the health definition of health is the balancing of these three doshas. So any imbalance happen to these three doshas will lead to diseases. That is the because any imbalance, any increase or decrease, any aggravation or alleviation, that will lead to the disease in Ayurveda. So a person is supposed to be stay healthy or non-healthy depends on how they are balanced in Vata Pitta Kapha.
Right. So what I'm getting,
I Karen, I cannot hear you.
um, can you hear me now, Doc
Yeah,
Gypsy?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So what I'm getting is Ayurveda is based on the five element theory.
yep,
So we have earth and water,
yeah.
and earth and water form one dosha,
Hmm.
right?
Earth,
And you mentioned
yeah, earth and water will join the kapha.
kapha, and they take care of the nutrition of the body and
Exactly.
other systems.
Yep.
Fire is one dosha, and fire takes care of metabolism,
Metabolism, digestion.
right? And digestion and all those things. Air and ether
Hmm.
takes care of is another dosha,
Yeah, it's a
right?
vata which is responsible for all the movement, neurological function in our body.
So neurological, so it affects our mental state,
Exactly.
right? Mental state, and also like you said, all movements in the body,
Hmm.
and the interplay of these three doshas
Hmm.
affect the balance of these three doshas. If these three doshas are in balance, then we're healthy.
Yeah.
If there's imbalance, then we're not healthy.
Exactly.
Oh,
Simple. Simply, actually, there are other factors. Are there? I'll explain to the coming points. I will explain what are the other factors should be properly nourished. But basically, this three doshas is the most important thing you have to know when it comes to the Ayurvedic practice.
right. The three doshas.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. And Doc Gypsy, you mentioned about the concept of health in Ayurveda. How about the concept of immunity? What's the
Okay.
concept based on the Ayurveda practice?
Okay. So I told you about while ago because the when it comes to the immune system, uh, because Ayurveda, the terminology we are using in Ayurveda for the immunity is Vyadik Shamatva. That's the terminology in Ayurveda. The immunity, when it comes to Ayurveda, it is called Vyadik Shamatva. Vyadik Shamatva means Vyadi means a disease. Okay, Shamatha means the capacity or ability of the body to fight against that disease. So that is just the terminology in Ayurveda. But
Yes.
I told you this immunity is depends on the bela, the strength of the body. Okay, a personal, to the mental and the physical strength of the body, and that I told you this a while ago that that bela means that the strength depends on divided into three factors, and the yuktigaja is the one of the type. Uh, but this simply the immune system in a person, like when it comes to the Ayurvedic medical system, the immunity, if a person want to be say that the immunity should be enhanced or properly done, it depends on so many factors. uh, so many factor means one thing is that they're hereditary. Second thing is that the lifestyle. Lifestyle most important. Lifestyle includes the sleeping habits, the the stress you having, physical and mental stress having for a person, and the most important thing is that's the most important part, the food. And the food is the most important part when it comes to the immune developing an immune system. Okay, a pill. I'm sorry to say that, but a pill or a particular kind of drug will not give you immune system, because we have to know how the immune system develop. Because you take some medicine, like Ayurveda clearly explained that if diet is wrong, uh, no use of taking medicines. Because if the diet is wrong, no use of taking medicine. And if your diet is good, there is no need of medicine. So immunity means immunity is not sick care. Immunity is health care, because we need to develop immunity to fight against the diseases. But how this immunity develop, that's the most important thing, because the right time of sleeping, the right time of waking up, the right time of eating, because like how many people are there skipping the breakfast or not having a consistent time of eating habits, or eating any food before the, like some people eat any kind of snack or lunch before the breakfast digested, and the midnight snacks, these all are really contraindicated, which is affecting the development of our immune system. So when it comes to the, again comes to the part of food, the food is so important. But it's not like that any food, the food is depending on your dosha. While ago I mentioned about each and every person have a constitution. I mean, say some persons are most predominant in vata, some people are predominant in pitta, some people are predominant in kapha. So like I belongs to more in pitta and kapha, means I more into fire and water. And some people are there will be another person who is in the constitution of air and fire. So the food which is good for me is not good for the other person. The food which is bad for me might be good for the other person. So that means knowing your constitution means which body constitution body type you belongs to is so important when it comes to Ayurveda, and everything starts from there. So going back to the again, because I told you the three doshas are the, because if you want our immune system should be properly done is function. Okay, it may, we have to make sure that, so where we get the immune system, that's the most important part. The question is what is the concept of immunity when it comes to Ayurveda? Okay, when it comes to Ayurveda, the immunity happen only when your your three doshas, the three doshas are balanced. And I told you the stability means the normal structure of the body. Okay, when it comes to the normal structure of the body, there are seven factors, there are seven tissues which we call as dhadu, which is seven dhadus means one is plasma, blood, muscle, fat, bone, bone marrow, immune system. The last is immune system. That means it is so important. The seven dhadus means the seven components should be properly nourished, because our body sustainability, our body stability depends on how these seven factors are properly nourished, and that's the most important part. And why it is so important? These seven dhadus, these seven components which I mentioned, the plasma, blood, muscle, fat, bone, bone marrow, immune system, is properly nourished, or the nourishment happened, it came from the food actually. That means the food Suppose you eat the food, but you are not eating it healthily, means you are not taking the proper time. Or you are taking uh, because means Ayurveda saying that you are taking the, even though it's a healthy food, you are taking food in the wrong time. Still, it's no use. So
Yeah.
a person, that's why it's a big topic actually. But in brief, the food is the one who, because you are just what you eat. Our body is an outcome of what you are eating. Health and disease is depend on what food you are eating. Our growth, our nourishment, our intelligence, our brilliance, our happiness, lack of happiness, everything depends on what food you're eating. So, and it is so important that the food we're eating, we should know according to you our constitution,
Yes.
because if,
Yes, Doc Gypsy, speaking of your body composition, you mentioned that food is very important and because it affects the seven components, right? But you should take food based on your body composition. Somebody's asking, how do you know your body composition?
yeah, actually, that is the biggest part, because you have to have a consultation with me, because that's what we do actually. Like when the patients comes to me, the first thing going to be happen uh, during the time of consultation. The first thing, even though not only consultation, when we take seminars, actually we conduct seminars about Ayurvedic lifestyle, seminars we are conducting for the self care for last 4 to 5 years. So we do this session. Actually, we have courses actually. Maybe at the end of this session we can show the courses, because we do have modules for knowing your dosha, means knowing your constitution. And then so after that session, you can know what is your body type, and then from there we can explain what is the convenient or best food for your constitution, and what are the lifestyle changes you have to practice. And of course, about the clinical side also, curative part also, what are the diseases, and even treatment also depends on this dosha actually.
Dosha.
Yeah.
So, Doc Gypsy, in a certain because here in the Philippines, what we do is a mom cooks for the family, and usually it's really just one meal for the whole family. So you're saying that we should eat according to our body composition. So if that's the case, in a family, we will have different food, different viands, depending on your dosha.
Okay,
Is this
so
correct?
yeah, thing is that I never mean it never means that like for example, I'm more into fire factor. It never means that I have to avoid totally the other food elements, which is the nutritional, because our body need to have it properly nourished with the more than 20 plus micronutrition every day. I'm more in fire. I'm more in fire. That means if I follow the right way of my constitution, I'm not supposed to take the spicy food. I'm not supposed to take the sour taste. I was not supposed to. That's why we said that there is no concept of healthy diet, because people talking about you have to take healthy food. There is no concept of healthy diet. The right concept is balanced diet. We have to know the balanced diet. That means in a family, like your question is really accurate, because we have to make our food balance means balance according to our body constitution. I know it's really hard to live like that, but the most important thing is that the six tastes, because when you talk about the food, there are six tastes are there: the the, the sweet, sour, salt, pungent, bitter, astringent. There are six tastes in six taste buds are there in our body, in our tongue. That means that when you prepare, when you focusing on the food, we have to make sure that all kind of tastes are there in different forms. And different means I'm not talking about only plant based, even the meat based also. But still, it depends on how balanced it is. All these tastes should be balanced. All these nutritional point of factors should be a balance. Then we can see. So that's why there will be a moderation of everything. There is no hype for anything. So it will be healthy for the person to stay healthy, because
Doc Gypsy,
yeah,
even pungent and bitter. We have to have pungent and bitter food also. I
that
just
is,
like sweet and
yeah.
sour.
That's why most of the people like it. I'm not judging them, but generally I can see the Filipinos they don't really into spicy and bitter and pungent, and that's really not healthy because we cannot say that I don't like some pungent, I don't like bitter, because our body needs that, because our Tridosha, the Vada, Pitta, Kapha, developed from these stages actually.
But if they don't know their body composition yet, at least that's one thing that they can introduce in their cooking. They
And
have to have spicy. Because in Philippine cooking, it's usually just sweet or sour.
yeah, but
That's it. But you have to have bitter, pungent, spicy. What's the other one?
astringent,
And
astringent.
that one.
So thing is that, but it depends on if you have any kind of clinical uh, uh, compromise, like if you have any kind of clinical issues, then it's a different story. But
Right.
generally, you have to include all these spices, and also important that why I'm telling this is so important, because while you ask about immune system, the immune
Yes.
system develop simply in one sentence. I can tell you, you eat some food, the food should be properly digested, the metabolism should be done properly, and after the metabolism, it will, the first thing going to be happen form in our body is plasma. Then from plasma, the blood will form, then blood, muscle, then muscle, from muscle, fat, from fat, bone, then bone marrow, and the last part is the immune system. Means the immune system is like a plant. For example, you take a plant or a tree. The fruit is the last product actually. You cannot expect the fruit. You cannot expect the fruit should be in the first part. The so proper nourishment of these seven the components is so important. So it should, but not only one important factor is food. Means that the proper eating habits, the healthy fooding habit. Actually, it's a big topic, because there's a lot of things to be talk about, the drinking of water, the time of eating, the kinds of food, the daily regimen, seasonal food, because everything should be seasonal and local, because the fruit,
Right.
even though you're taking some fruits, it should be seasonal, it should be local, because our nature will produce the fruits, like for example, now it is summer, the most local fruit we can find is mango. Hmm? The nature is producing the fruit which is according to the season. Why? Because that fruit is the one who really going to enhance our immune system to fight against the diseases happening according to that season. So if you, but if you take any kind of food or any kind of fruit which is not in the local or not according to season, that is already contraindication, which is not supposed to be. And instead of getting benefits, it tend to be like a toxin or poison, which is not
Oh.
good benefit for it. It is not bringing any kind of benefit for the body. That's why it is so
Oh.
important to know uh, the seasonal regimen, and the foods which is available according to the land, according to the season and everything. And so what I said, the proper nourishment is so important. So once these six components properly nourished, then final product is the
Immune
immune
system.
system. But not only the food, it is so important. You have to sleep, like how many people here, but including me, because we are not sleeping that early. We sleep at late night and we wake up early, so we don't getting enough quantity or quality of sleep nowadays. Even though you're taking the any tablets, even though
What
you take,
time should we sleep, Doc?
well, I'm not forcing to anybody, because I'm also not practicing. But if a person want to stay healthy, if a person want to be stay healthy, live long life, he or she should sleep at like 8 p.m. That's what according to.
Wow, that's so early.
That's
8
I know,
p.m.
I know, but it's not really practical in this era. But Ayurveda explain about you have to sleep at least like 9 p.m. and you have to wake up at 4 p.m. 4 to 6 p.m. 4 to 6 a.m. actually. Early morning, 4 to
Wow.
6 a.m. is the best time to wake up according to Ayurveda. But it's really, I'm not, Ayurveda is not imposing anybody to practice it. But if you want to stay healthy, if you want to live long life, that's the best time, because it's not like that you can sleep anytime. Even I'm also not sleeping early, that's true. But make sure that you have a quality sleep at least 7 hours.
Okay, 7 hours of sleep. I've been practicing meditation and I go to India regularly to deepen my practice. And that's one of the prescription.
Mhm.
To wake up, to sleep at 9 p.m., which I don't do. But I wake up at 4 a.m. And
4
when
a.m.
I go to India in Rajasthan, Mount Abu, they really ring the bells. Like there's a loud gong sound at 4 a.m. in the morning. So even if you don't want to wake up, you wake up because there's sound and everybody really wakes up. But when
Yeah.
we wake up, everybody goes in a meditation hall and everybody
Mm,
meditates
mm,
at 4 a.m. So it's
mhm.
that's interesting. So it's also part of the Ayurvedic
It's
practice. Sleep
all
at 9 p.m., wake up at 4 a.m.
nowadays we can see so many alternative healing modalities. So many people talk about different things. Okay, like it's about the sleep, about the food, about the lifestyle.
Yeah.
There are so many talks happening, but I can tell you very frankly, all this knowledge came from Ayurveda, and it's
Yeah.
completely and it's totally complete actually. So because
Right,
why
because you said it's a complete medical system. Doc Jobsy, people are asking for your opinion on gout, arthritis, and other questions. Especially, I'm sure people are going to ask about home remedies for COVID, but we just need to take a break. And when we come back, Doc Gypsy will answer your questions. We'll also post how you can reach Doc Gypsy because they're very interested on how to know their body composition, their specific
okay.
doshas. So
Yeah.
we'll do that after the break. For now, we'll just have 1 minute break. And when we come back, we'll talk about home remedies and the other questions that you have for Doc Gypsy. Just
Sure.
1 minute.
I'd like to invite you to enroll the course Healing the Inner Child so I can show you my own process of healing as I guide you to find your own process as well. Together, let's embrace our journey to courage and our journey to healing. See you!
You are not alone, and people are here for you, and we're here for each other.
Here are our programs and courses for you.
Okay, we're back. Again, this is Karen from Online Healing Community, and with us is Dr. Gibsy, an Ayurvedic doctor. And we've been talking about how to boost our immune system through Ayurveda. And earlier, Doc Gibsy, we've talked about food. Food is very important,
Mhm.
and we talk about body composition, and also we talk about sleep. But people are asking for their body composition, so I guess Doc Gypsy, you have to tell them Ren how they can get in touch with you and how they can reach you because the doshas you have to give them specific recommendation based on their doshas, right? We can't just give
Okay.
recommendation.
So your question is how the people can know the doshas.
Yes.
See, because we have to go for a consultation actually. We can
Yes.
reach them.
Yes. So there, you have to reach Doc Gypsy at www.shantiayurveda.ph or at 0917-849-9830. Doc
Yeah,
Gypsy, do you do online consultations
we do.
nowadays?
I do actually. I do
All right.
online consultation nowadays, but still, I appreciate if people can come as a person because still I need to examine like while a person asking about gout arthritis. We do treat the cases like that because it's very common in Ayurveda. But if I want to examine them properly, then I need to see the person because some cases, most of the cases I'm treating here like skin diseases, stroke
Yeah.
conditions. There are so many different cases we treat, but well, as a person, I need to see them by person and also
Yeah.
examine properly because when it comes to Ayurveda,
Right.
we have our own way of diagnosis and pathology.
Yeah, because somebody's asking if you're Pita dosha, what's good for your gout arthritis. But Doc Jibs is saying it's best if you go to his clinic. You
True.
can visit him at Shanti Ayurveda at 56 Xavierville Avenue, Loyola Heights, Quezon City. And we're flashing the phone number on the screen, 8952-1845, because it has to be specific for your body type, like what Doc Gypsy is saying.
Mm.
But there's an interesting question here, Doc
Mm.
Gypsy. Is it possible to be a Kapha and Pita at the same time?
Uh, well, thing is that same time means well, a person always have a two two dosha will be there, but in because this is predominantly than the other dosha. But if you're telling about kapha and pitta, it might be the kapha is predominant than pitta, or pitta can be predominant than kapha. If you do the assessment when you come here, if you do the proper assessment, we can see which is like I told you while ago, I'm pitta kapha. I'm more into fire factor, and my second is kapha factor. That means when I choose the diet and when I choose the lifestyle, it depends on that which is predominant, which is substitute actually.
So it's very specific
Very specific.
to the
Even,
person.
even like for example, the question while ago, what is the remedy for the gout arthritis when it's a pitta dosha? That is so important because gout arthritis happen to have, because it's arthritis comes under common topic arthritis. The arthritis is very specific, even though it's for the okay, two patients came to me with arthritis. The treatment, the lifestyle, everything depends on what dosha they belongs to, because you know what, the symptoms they're showing, the concerns they have, the difficulties they're showing, it depends on what, like for example COVID also, it's not like that everyone is showing the same symptom. Means there are not everyone showing the same symptom, not everyone showing the all symptom, some are asymptomatic, so it depends on what constitution you are.
Right. Speaking of COVID, Doc Gibsy, can you share with us some home remedies for
uh,
people who are experiencing COVID at the moment?
okay, so well, the description about COVID in Ayurveda is also totally different from the Western medical system. Okay, and the most important part is that I told you uh, before I'm telling about the home remedies. I just want to explain some important part when it comes to the COVID management, or not only the COVID management. We're talking about the immune system. Uh, one important factor, one important point I need to explain is the clinical the clinical side of Ayurveda. Okay, in the preventive side, we talk about the food, the sleep, the lifestyle. That is a big topic actually. That's why we have to go for the online seminar. Clinical side is we take care of the conditions. Like you were asking about the COVID also. The most important factor we have to focus in Ayurveda is the detoxification part. Means uh, in so the detoxification means our body is a complex mechanism, and because our like if you have a car, even though you drive in the normal nice way, still it will be ended up in having toxin. Why we changing the oil? Okay, why we changing the oil of the car? Because we have to cleanse it, because otherwise the car will be shut down in the road. Same like that, our body also working, our systems also working without any rest from the beginning. So our hereditary, I told you, our lifestyle, our food habits, our sleep, our daily regimen, our stress, everything, environmental pollution, everything have a role in our body for the proper nourishment, for the enhancing of immunity. So that means it's so important to correct all these things. But even though you follow the right healthy living, still there is a chance of you get infected. So how can we do that? We have detoxify. We have detoxify. There's a It's so easy to get the toxins to be accumulated in our body because of the imbalance of this Tridosha. So we have to properly detoxify. Detoxification and purification is the best thing you can do to enhance the both preventive and curative side. The best thing you can do is detoxification. In Ayurveda, we call it panchakarma. Panchakarma means we have five kinds of, pancha means five, karma means five kinds of detoxification, which is focusing on the preventive and curative. So just mentioning the five karmas is one is vomiting, one is purgation, one is nasal medication, bloodletting, and therapeutic enema. So these are the five detoxification and purification we do in Ayurveda to enhance immunity and also the preventive and curative part of the side. Okay, so that is the one as a that's so important for doing that treatment. You have to know what is your constitution, so you can see once you assess your body, we should know what is your imbalance. Once you know your imbalance, we can direct you, we can correct your lifestyle, your food, and we can decide what is the best detoxification um, aspects you have to follow according to your imbalance. That's the clinical and preventive aspects in the matter of preventive and curative modalities in Ayurveda, in the management of not only COVID, any conditions. Okay, so talking
Right.
about COVID, according to yeah.
Gypsy, somebody commented. Ali said that she actually joined a 2-day Ayurveda lifestyle course several years ago.
Mhm.
And she said that you are one of the trainers. And she found that her dosha is Kapha Pita,
Okay,
which is predominantly Kapha. So that's air and earth, right? Earth and fire, earth and water, right?
earth and water,
It's Kapha.
the earth and water actually.
And she said, and she agrees with you, Doc Gypsy. She
Hmm.
said she learned so many things, day to day practices we usually take for granted, which is
Mhm.
very important in strengthening immunity.
Yeah, because it's so important the food you're taking, because the why I'm telling about food, it's not like any kind of food, because our nutritional point of view, because we have to make sure that our body is able to get all the nutritional factors. uh, that is in the general lifestyle, we can focus on that part, because not only the for the management of COVID, but in the general way, it's so important to know your constitution, and to know what is the food good for you, what is the food bad for you. And the contraindicated food is so important. Contraindicated food means there are some foods that we are not supposed to take too, like some we can see the yogurt along with meat, or the yogurt or milk along with the vegetables, yogurt along with the fruits. So many people taking here, actually there are so many people taking mixed fruits with the fruits with yogurt or milk. Several dishes are there which is really contraindicated, which is not supposed to take, because which is leading to the several health issues, and also affecting the normal enhancement of immune system.
Actually, Doc Gypsy, if you go to restaurants, and these are healthy restaurants, they serve yogurt and fruits. And
Okay.
the yogurt is the dressing. And
Okay.
usually, if you take in shakes, the shakes come in with milk.
Mhm. Well, once in a while, nothing going to be happen. But if you make it regular, there's a problem.
I I has another question. So if you're
Okay.
taking in food that's not good for your dosha or based on your local season, etc., it can actually be poison for your body.
Yeah, poison means it's like a toxin. Like our body, I told you the imbalances will be happen. Like will increase the likeness. Okay, the like will increase the likeness. That means for a person, like if a person predominant in pitta dosha, if they take more spicy food or more sour taste food or fruits, it will automatically increase the pitta dosha in her body. So what happened, she will be tempted, or she will be ended up in having health issues according to the aggravation of imbalance of the pitta dosha, like this hemorrhoids, this bleeding, or skin diseases, all are comes under pitta dosha. Actually, I told you, imbalance of this vata pitta kapha leads to different kind of health issues. And so if a person taking any food which is not relevant to the dosha, it will end up in formation of toxin, and that toxin will be lead to the different health issues. Because when the toxin accumulate in our body, it affects the normal nourishment, normal circulation of the body. Yeah.
Really very important. It's really very important then to know your body constitution, your dosha, and what's the perfect food, what's the perfect detox
Yep.
even for your dosha.
Yeah.
Yeah. And earlier, before we talk about the food and doshas, you were talking about COVID home remedies, Doc
Yeah.
Gypsy.
That is, well, I just give some home remedies now for the people who want to prevent, or if you want to, if somebody already get COVID positive, what they can practice. And this is according to the Ayush department. Ayush department means is like a Pitak department in Philippines. Philippines have Pitak. So same like in India we have Ayush department, which is um, mentioning about the Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha, and homeopathy. So they explain about because now in India they are practicing like in every household. So the it's so important, like for preventive point of view. Of course, the other practices like wearing the mask, social distancing, is all are so important uh, in any medical system because two things are so important. A person's want to prevent or want to be get rid of COVID-19. Two things are so important. One thing is that how strong your immune system, and second is how much is the dose, means how much the the particle, means the quantity of particle, COVID particle go inside your body. That's so important. But the most important part is that we can practice these natural home remedies in our home, which is naturally we can get to enhance our immune system. The one thing is that we can practice is do not eat when you're not hungry, means because it's so important. Like these are the practices, because I don't know how many people talk about.
That's so simple, Doc.
Yeah,
Gypsy. Don't eat when you're not
this
hungry, but sometimes people just
eat.
eat whenever
Yeah,
they want to.
that's really bad for the body, because I'm talking about these are the practices you have to follow if you want to enhance your immune system. A pill, a particular food will not give you immune system. Okay, you have to practice this. That's so important. So eating in time is so important. Eat when you're hungry. Okay, avoid any frequent snacking. Okay, uh, because if you keep on taking the snacks when you're hungry, you can take some fruits instead of taking some fried snacks. We can take, that's so important. These all are important. And among the things, the dry fruits, homemade cheese, boiled banana, we can choose. If you want to eat, you can take some kind of homemade chips or boiled banana is fine. And reduce the quantity of food intake half or three-fourth than the normal, because it's not like that you have to eat until we get full. You have to reduce the quantity of the food by half or three-fourth. Rice gruel, lugao is the best thing you can do. You can take at least once in a day, hard lugao. And of course, in this time of COVID, it's better to avoid non-vegetarian food because our body need to be digest properly. That's so important. The best thing you can do is, you can add ginger. You can add ginger powder or ginger while you cooking the rice. That's so important. And so it will enhance the digestion, which is the foundation of good health. You can the best thing, the way you can take ginger is, you can mix the ginger, you can boil the water, because the water you're drinking, you can boil the water with the ginger, and you can boil and you can drink that water all day as an energy drink. That's really good for the you have, because when you talk about any remedies or any kind of solution for the COVID-19, it's a viral disease. So we focus on three things like antiviral, anti-inflammatory. Okay, so these are the qualities, and antioxidant. Okay, these are the three mainly we are focusing on. So even the vaccine also doing the same function, because what we do in the function, because in the vaccine the same, the genetic material of the COVID, the coronavirus is the one who really the development that they put in the body. Because but still, even though you take the vaccine, still our body is the one who responsible to fight against, because the body is the one who should identify. So still our body have a biggest role. Even though you take a vaccine, even though you take a medicine, still our body is the one responsible. That's the immune system. So there's nothing wrong with that, but naturally we can get this. Naturally there are so many herbal remedies are there which are having the same antiviral, because Ayurveda, because this pandemic, this kind of viral infections is explained very like thousands of years before in Charaga Samhita, one of the main bundle of knowledge in Ayurveda, which is talk about this antiviral and antibacterial. Uh, it comes under the that are explained very well. So anyway, I'm just going back to the remedies. You can just boil the ginger, because this ginger is the one of the natural remedy we can use, which is having the antiviral, antioxidant, and anti parasitic, and also anti-inflammatory properties they have. And of course, it's better to avoid the pickles, alcohol, the beverages. This is so important. And we can include the banana, mangoes, jackfruit, guava, which is seasonal, which is available in Philippines. You can boil the water. Also, I told you again, the coriander seed or the basil seeds, basil leaves, oregano is one of the a good option here. Uh, and or if you don't get anything of it, at least turmeric. Luya dilaw, no? Turmeric, you can boil the one pinch of turmeric. We can boil with water. You can drink that also. It will make your body alkaline all day, which can be able to fight against the infections. And so, and then we can go for uh, which is good for the respiratory health. We prefer goat's milk on better than the cow's milk because they have, especially like in Ayurveda, in the case of tuberculosis conditions, Ayurveda talk about the importance of goat's milk and goat's meat and soap from the goat. So goat milk have the more potent against this kind of conditions. And also better you can avoid the yogurt, curd or yogurt you can avoid, especially at night times, because for the upper respiratory tract conditions, yogurt is not recommended because it's easy to get infections. And most important thing is that avoid the refrigerator water. Do not drink cold water. You have to drink warm water.
Doc, that's what I noticed. You always ask us to boil water.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because we have.
so why not cold water? It's so hot here in the Philippines, and it's so nice to have some iced tea or
Yeah,
cold juice. Why not cold?
thing is that the if you drink cold water, because our body, we are homeostates actually, we are warm-blooded animals. Our body need to have this warmness. Like even the not only water, even the food also, the water also, the ambience you are living. You're not supposed to leave. You're not supposed to sleep. You're not supposed to stay. You're not supposed to. I know it's really difficult, but uh, our body need the warmness for the normal functioning of the body. Means if you want to enhance your immune system, we need to allow the body to remain in the normal and natural, because we have to, because it's really, it's all really awkward, like outside is really hot but we are staying in the cold. That means we are already not really balanced with the natural rule, because we need to make our body efficient. I know it's really hard, but at least avoid. You can drink normal temperature water. At least don't drink the chilled water from the refrigerator, because it affects the normal digestion. It affects the normal function of the body, and it really strongly affect the normal enhancement of the immune system. Because if you drink
How
cold water,
yes.
yeah,
How about aircon, Doc
yeah,
Gypsy? Because you mentioned that our body should be in the same temperature as the
mhm,
outside.
yeah.
So does that mean we shouldn't use air
Well,
condition
thing is that
as well?
even though I mentioned that do not use aircon, nobody. I don't know how much people are going to practice that in Philippines, but at least it's better to be avoid aircon. But if you're using aircon, at least do not make it so cold like 18 or 20. Maybe you can, maybe more than 25 degree, because it's not really air cooler. It's supposed to be air conditioner. Our body still need to be stayed in the normal temperature for the normal function. So yeah, because that's why we can find more skin diseases and more lifestyle diseases nowadays, because our body was not able to function normally, because we are not living in the normal temperature we supposed to be. Because when you can see when you go to the anywhere you go, when you go to they check our temperature, body temperature, now it's showing 36, 35. Yeah, that's our body temperature, because we need to maintain that, we need to balance it. So if we remain this cold climate or cold temperature, it really affect the normal function, straightly affect the normal functioning of the immune system.
And
Yeah.
Doc Gypsy, you have Ayurveda self-care series, right? I'll pull it up. Probably
Yeah.
you can invite, because we actually have no more time. We've been talking for an hour already, but it seems
Sorry.
like, and we haven't covered a lot of things. So
Yeah, sure.
can you please invite them to your Ayurveda self-care series if they want to know more
Yeah.
about how
Actually,
they can boost their immunity?
yeah, better, because Yeah, this is the 10 modules we are giving now, because the introduction to Ayurveda and the Tridosha is that's the main part, understanding your dosha and your food. Know your dosha, know your food. And of course, Ayurveda self care. About Dinacharya means the daily regimen you have to practice. It's in a day. There are regimens you have to practice, and Rudracharya is the seasonal regimen, and the three pillars of health. Three pillars of health means the three. One is food, second is sleep, third is exercise. Exercise means it includes all the good practice, like even good sexual life, good family life, everything including that. And then fifth is balanced diet. That is so important about the food and nutrition, because that balanced diet talk about the your diet, your food you have to follow according to your constitution, mean your dosha. And then digestive system and metabolism. Seven dhadus is the one I already explained about, the seven components which is responsible for the normal stability of the body. And Ayurveda cooking means we teach, uh, we have kitchen pharmacy means we have to know how to cook in our home, because using our natural way of because the drugs are available, the spices are available here, which is available in Philippines, locally available. We have to develop the recipes and spices which is good for the uh, immune system, and we can develop only through the kitchen. Means we so important, because now we know while ago we talking about, you talk about people are just ordering food from here in the hotels, but we don't know how here, because well, once in a while is nothing wrong with that, but uh, continuously taking the hotel foods, this restaurant food, which is not really healthy habit. And it's so important to know what are the diet plans we can focus according to our constitution. That's why we're talking about Ayurveda cooking at home, food health and happiness. Then of course we talk about Ayurveda home remedies. Home remedies, any kind of health issues, we have home remedies. It is not really completely clinical, but it can practice just for a, it's like a first step. Because if you have any kind of because you're not supposed, because nowadays we are not able to go to visit the doctor in the hospitals, we can practice these home remedies for different common health issues we discuss in the home remedies. And then last is the panchakarma, the most important part in Ayurveda, because this is the one I talk about, the five kind of detoxification, which is focusing on the complete detoxification, purification of the toxins from the body, which is helping the body to enhance the immune system, and also not only for the curative, also for the preventive, because we don't want to wait for the body to get sick. We can
Yes.
develop our body efficient, because the intention of taking medicines, the intention of taking all these home remedies, it is to make our body efficient. Our body have the capacity to fight against these diseases, but to making our body efficient to fight against these conditions is the most important part. That's the way we can develop our immune system. And that's why I rather talking about this food, our lifestyle, and this uh, curative and the preventive modalities explained in Ayurveda very well.
I love, Doc Gypsy, that you talk about the capacity of our body to fight diseases.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you said, we just really have to boost our immune system and we can fight the diseases. And you gave us very important tips, very simple tips that we actually don't follow. Like
Yes.
sleep,
Yeah. Yeah.
sleep for eight
Simple.
hours. You mentioned don't
You know,
drink cold water.
yeah, like we can drink, the golden milk, turmeric milk. It is really recommended actually during the time of COVID. Every time, any time of the day, you can just one glass of milk boiled with one pinch of turmeric. You can drink that milk, which is really enhance our immune system. So there are several practices are there. Actually, I didn't able to I was not able to explain everything, but some of the tips I think, or if they can text me, or if you can contact me, I can, if we can have a consultation, I can explain more about that part, about the home
So,
remedies to
right. So
practice.
speaking of consultation, Doc Gypsy said he's willing to give you more tips on how to boost your immunity. You can reach Doc Gypsy at www.shantiayurveda.ph or at 0917-849-9830. But if you're in Quezon City, you can go to Shanti Ayurveda. at 56 Xavierville Avenue, Loyola Heights, Quezon City. And we're flashing their telephone number on the screen, 89521845. But very simple things that we have to remember. Sleep early. Doc Gypsy said sleep at 9 p.m. Don't watch too much Netflix. That's what he's saying, actually. Or don't
Yeah,
go to Facebook too long. And
yeah,
wake up at
because
4 a.m. And use spices in your when you prepare your food.
yeah.
Right? You're
And
saying you have to
one
have
more,
salt.
one more thing,
Yeah.
I want to add that because don't get panic actually. Because when you get like when once the COVID start, I understand that people really get panic, but we cannot control that. But so many people asking like even though they have a slight throat pain or any kind of congestion, they're already afraid of that. Maybe it's a COVID, maybe it's not a COVID, but even though it's a COVID or not, still you have to make sure that unwantedly get, because if you get panic, it's straightly affecting our body function to fight against this. Because body also, I'm sure, once the virus went inside, our body will not going to be just look like okay fine. No, because body will take all the effort to resist it. So it's our duty to make or do the things which is helping our body. That's why I talk about the 7 to 8 hours of sleep, the proper food habits, the proper time of eating habits, and the right time of eating, right time of sleeping, exercise, which is because the some I told you the way the COVID affecting the people depends on how strong your immune system and how much of quantity of because the doses event inside. So it depends on, uh, but there are I cannot I cannot generalize, but there are differentiation about like the people who already have compromised with this kind of any kind of other health issues like upper respiratory tract or pulmonary conditions or heart diseases or diabetes. It's a different story, but generally, uh, people can manage. People can practice this. Like for example, when you wake up in the morning, drink warm water and just take one piece of raw ginger, just chew it and swallow it, or garlic. Drink turmeric water or turmeric milk. Small piece of lemon, just chew it completely with the skin. This all things will help you uh, very well to fight against any kind of infections. And then because there are so many people out there already get rid of from COVID, they already get infected and they just get well after 2 weeks. There's an incubation period. Within that time, our body, we need to help the body to fight against. We have to make our body efficient, and that's why these things are important. So, in the matter of preventive and curative, both, it depends on how we make our body efficient by practicing the right way of living. That is Ayurveda talking about.
Yeah. So practice the right way of living. And Doc Gypsy talks about not panicking. Doc Gypsy, we usually end the conversation with a short meditation. But since you said don't panic, let's just breathe in the next 2 minutes. So feet flat. So I'll be leading this meditation. If you could just follow, this will just be short. 2 minutes. Feet flat on the floor. Open your palms so you're ready to receive. Sit upright and gently close your eyes. And you know what? In the next 2 minutes, let's just stay calm. Focus on your breathing. Breathe in deeply and breathe out completely. Just focus on the breath. Breathe in and out slowly. And if there are other thoughts on your mind, just let it pass, like passing clouds. And just focus on the breath. Breathe in and out. Let other thoughts, other sounds go. Let it pass. Focus your attention on the breath. Just breathe. Be comfortable with the silence as well. It's okay. And gently refocus on the breathing. Inhale and exhale. Know that you are safe. Know that the universe has your back. And know that everything will be okay. Just breathe. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes. So that's just 2 minutes of pausing, and hopefully you can add that in your practice. Like Doc Gypsy gave you very practical tools today. Look at your sleeping pattern, look at the food that you're eating, and also please move, exercise, he said. And if you want a more complete a more complete information about your body composition, about your doshas, you may reach Doc Gibsy at Shanti Ayurveda. The numbers are posted on the screen. Doc Gibsy, final words for our audience.
Uh, Final verse. I'm sorry because I was not able to talk everything in this time, but still I know there are things, a lot of things to be learned, a lot of things to be informed properly. So I appreciate if you people can you can look for that the 10 modules we talk about. That's the most important thing, because that's so important to know your constitution and your lifestyle, your diet, and your the things you have to focus to enhance your immune system. So we detailedly explain in that part. And second thing is that the home remedies I mentioned, it's all are simple. Like one who practicing yoga, they can focus more in your pranayama everybody can practice easily. This the breathing exercise really good for this because it is helping our lungs to be function properly. So and also these home remedies they can practice simply. And then it's most important to um, focus on our the three pillars I mentioned about the sleep, the food, and the exercise. It is so important. And the second, and one more thing I want to explain is that um, uh, there is nothing wrong to there is nothing wrong to be you don't need to particularly change completely your life, because people might think that might be I need to change everything. No, not really like that. Practicing Ayurveda never means that you have to strictly vegetarian or non-vegetarian, nothing like that. uh, these are the simple principles, when it comes to about the food and the water. It's kind of there are so many principles are there, but these are the simple principles we can easily practice in our day-to-day life, and that's the most important part.
That's what I love also, Doc Gypsy, with your tips. Very, very simple principles that we can practice.
Yeah,
And I think this is June. He's saying, Doc Gypsy, thank you. You're the coolest. I'm thankful that I listened to him. And of
yeah.
course, Ai is agreeing. And it will just really echo what they're saying. Thank you so much, Dr. Gypsy. You're the coolest. And hopefully we can talk to you again soon. Because
Sure,
there's, like you said, there's so many other things that we haven't covered. But
exactly.
we'll have to pause because we have actually overextended already. We went beyond an hour. So for now, we'll have to pause this conversation, but you can replay this again so you're reminded. So
Sure.
again, thank you so much, Doc
Thank you so
Gypsy.
much. Thank you so much, Karen, and thank you so much for I and all the people who listen. And you can contact me anytime by texting or even the website. You can follow that.
Yes. Okay. So
Bye
you
bye.
can reach Doc Gypsy there. And bye, everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with us. Bye for now. See you
Bye bye.
soon.
Take care.
Bye.